Did you know, just off the coast of Vero Beach, Florida, there is a sunken ship that has served as an artificial reef since the late 1800s. This 300-foot-long English-built steamer is located about 200 yards offshore under about 15 to 20 feet of water. Join us on this adventure as we paddle out into the Atlantic Ocean and try to get a closer look at this shallow water wreck and try to make it back in one piece. Hi all, welcome back to my channel and our kayaking adventures. December 6, 2021, after an hour-long drive along I-95, we made it to Vero Beach about 1:30 p.m., just a few hours ahead of low tide. On our way, we encountered some heavy rain, which we thought was going to cause us to call off this trip. Fortunately, the rain subsided once we arrived at our final destination. As the saying goes, if you don't like the weather in Florida, wait 5 minutes, it'll change. We arrived at Humiston Beach Park and unloaded our kayaks. We decided to take the minimum amount of gear with us since we weren't sure what to expect while paddling against waves on the Atlantic Ocean. Our destination was the SS Breconshire, a 300-foot-long English-built steamer which sank off the Florida coast in April 1894 on what would have been an ill-fated sail from New York to Tampa to pick up some unknown cargo. The breaking waves along the shore were not that bad, and Miss Kayak 7 Seas was anxious to get out there on the water. After picking the right time, Miss Kayak 7 Seas made it safely past the breaker zone. I, on the other hand, had to make sure the cameras were set up, and in a rush, did not fare so well. After slowing down to get better timing, I made it out there too, and we were set for that quarter-mile paddle out to the SS Breconshire on this very cloudy day. The temperature was 72 degrees, and it looked like there was more rain out on the horizon. You're probably wondering, just how did this vessel wind up here? Well, in the spring of 1894, after docking in New York, she was ordered to proceed to Tampa to pick up an unknown cargo. Commander Robert Taylor, unfamiliar with Florida's waters, ordered charts of the coast of the state of Florida, but the package of charts he received failed to include Florida's coast for about 20 miles south of Cape Canaveral. Commander Taylor didn't know he was missing these maps of the coast until it was too late. On the night of April 29th, it was calm and clear when Commander Taylor set his course and then he went down below. At midnight, Second Officer Edwin H. Curling took charge. He instructed his early morning crew to keep a sharp lookout for land on the starboard side. At 1:45 a.m., Curling sighted land on the starboard beam and estimated the distance was 4 to 5 miles. Unaware of the danger that lurked below the ocean surface, he continued the course. A few minutes later, the Breconshire hit a reef and sunk to the bottom, where it rests today. Once we arrived at the shipwreck, we paddled around to get an above-the-water view. The water was fairly clear. The rainfall earlier and out in the distance, followed by the lack of sunshine, did make the water a bit more cloudy. Locals will say the best time to visit the SS Breconshire is from May to July, when the water is the clearest and the water is much warmer. We chose not to get in the water ourselves because of the water temperature and because we saw many jellyfish on our paddle out to the shipwreck. Over the next 130 years after it sunk, the SS Breconshire has bloomed into an ecosystem of its own. Barnacles, algae, and other marine flora and fauna have covered the ship, bringing with it critters like snails, crabs, and more. There is an abundance of marine life that call the shipwreck home, so you'll be able to spot stingrays, tropical fish, and much more if you choose to snorkel around the shipwreck. After spending some time at the shipwreck, it was time to head back before the next wave of rain came in. While our kayaks do well on flat water, they aren't the most stable when it comes to riding out a wave from behind, and we would both go for a swim just before landing on shore. If you decide to visit the SS Breconshire, you'll want to go just before low tide on a clear and sunny day. Watch out for the waves when launching your kayak or when coming back in. You'll want to take an anchoring system if you plan to get out of your kayak and snorkel around the shipwreck. Most importantly though, don't forget your dive flag. In warmer months, this is a popular destination with quite a lot of traffic. There are a few tour groups that also have tours to the shipwreck if you are more comfortable with an experienced guide. I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, click on that like button. If you're new to this channel or have not yet subscribed, consider subscribing. We have many more adventures coming your way. Until the next time, hope to see you out on the water someday.